sure we're actually broadcasting. Do we have video? Yes. All right. It says I. Okay. Cool. Heather, say something.
Thing.
Thank you. Okay. Twitter. That'll be good.
Where over the rainbow. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Heather, if you can watch for the chat room. Usually we rely on Seema to tell us.
I know, right? Hey, chat, let us know when you can see or hear us.
Sure can.
All right. That's too many capitals. There we go. AIE Guild, AIE-Guild.org, podcast live stream. Okay. That, retweet. Okay. That's enough shenanigans. All right.
It actually isn't.
We'll get to your D&D update. Was it a total party kill?
It was a bit rough.
Yeah, I heard. All right. Watching me
really?
get things nice and tidy. Okay. All right.
Evidently, I was loud in game.
Well, no, I was doing laundry on the other side of the door. It's fine.
Yes.
All I heard was, that's a lot of damage.
Yeah. And we were fighting things that, regenerated when they damaged us.
Oh, that's fun.
Right.
All right. Kaz says we can see and hear us. Okay, good.
Check.
Yep, I can hear Max.
I think everybody's...
Credit, charge.
Yep.
Don't make me file a suspicious activity report on you people.
Okay. All right. Then...
Levels.
I'd be offended if you didn't.
Is that a little bit low?
Yeah,
it is
just
low,
a little bit.
Okay.
All right.
That should be a little bit better.
Yeah. Okay.
There we go.
All right. We are going to go in 5, 4, 3. On this episode of the AIE Podcast.
Show off your style in WoW.
Stonethorn approaches. Bum, bum, bum.
We heard you like Final Fantasy news. Boy, do we have you covered. Thanks, Abo.
And then so. There is summer fun to be had on Ryza and Middle-earth.
And we have Max and Seema here to talk to us about AIE in SOTOR.
All that and more coming up right now.
Bringing you the latest news from the AIE gaming community from planet Earth and beyond. This is the AIE Podcast.
Welcome to episode 350. Wow, 350 episodes of the podcast celebrating you, the Aliyah Iocta Est gaming community. The die has been podcast 350 times, apparently. This is Tetsemi, and to my left and, well, actually he's to my right, is Mew Cow.
Greetings, guildies.
A tired Mew Cow. And to my left and up is McCullough.
Guys, there are chai rice crispy treats in the guild kitchen.
Yummy. Messy, but yummy. This week...
Marshmallows.
I know. We are joined by special guests Max and Seema, who are here to talk to us about AIE in SOTOR. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank
Congrats
you.
on
Good to-
350 episodes.
Yes.
Thank
know.
you, but you guys have surpassed us now.
I know.
Yeah,
Decided
Oh no,
to
wait,
wait
happening this
right
week.
now.
What just happened?
It just
But we
happened.
cheat. We
Yeah.
cheat. We
We
do
are
it every
tied
week.
at this
I
exact moment.
know.
Yes, such
We're tied.
Good deal.
You guys hit 350, as we'll talk about. And
It's
We
a
are
good
tied.
crossover event.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect.
I did not plan this. It just numbers
It's
happened. So,
Yep.
That's awesome.
all right.
So congrats on
let's-
350, guys.
Yeah, exactly. Speaking
Everyone
of
here.
350, let's go around the room and see what everyone's been up to. And we'll start in the upper left. McCullough, what have you been up to?
Well, as you overheard, we had a lot of battling game tonight. So a while ago we went back in time, as you do, because we needed to collect some keys to this thing that would free the spirit, and we may have upset some members of a cult of the Creeping Chaos, the Dark Whisperer. No, the Dark Wanderer. Sorry, the Dark Whisperer is a whole different story. No, same story, different god, but maybe the same god, which is very disturbing. But in any case, we may have stolen from this cult.
That's not good.
Fast forward 2,000 years, and we are trying to keep some portals from opening by actually opening them ourselves, so somebody else doesn't.
Gotcha.
So we can contain said dark
Whisper
wanderer.
Wanderer.
Yes.
Okay.
And of course, who do we end up fighting but one of the cult members who is now a vampire thanks to said dark wanderer. We ended up fighting her, and that was the first part of our afternoon. All of her spawn, all of that good stuff. I really am not a huge fan of the legendary action when you actually turn undead and then they use a legendary action to not get turned. Not
Yeah.
fond of that.
No.
Yeah. So once we got through with that, we healed up for a few, we rested for a few minutes, tried to leave the room, knowing that we had a horde of undead at the door, but we healed up. We rested for a few so I'd be able to turn them. When we got attacked by something called a blood guardian.
That's
I
not
don't-
good.
Yeah, I don't suggest it. It's not a good time. So literally that's why I was almost late to podcast. So it was a lot of fun. We did not have Call of Cthulhu this week because real life got in the way of all of our fun,
Right.
which is very upsetting.
I know.
But I did watch Lovecraft Country, so that's a good, that's a good
I've heard that's good.
it's really good. It's very yeah, it's right up my alley. And in our Thursday game, continuing a literal dungeon crawl underneath a bathhouse.
Interesting.
Yes, so good times all. That's what I've been doing
Cool.
in the gamey type stuff, and out of game working way
Yeah,
too much.
Way
but I'm on
too much.
But I'm on vacation this week.
But
Except for
you're
the
still
few
gonna
hours I'm
log into
working
work.
tomorrow morning.
Right, yeah.
I am going to log into
There it
work
is.
tomorrow morning. I know. And our daughter had her wisdom teeth pulled on Friday,
Oh,
which
yes.
she's in a lot of pain.
No, she's been a good trooper about
I know
it.
she's uncomfortable though.
Yeah.
Hilarity
more
kind of
sore
ensued
than-
Friday. With when you sent the picture of her in the car,
Yes.
gauzed up,
Chipmunk cheeks.
chipmunks. And then when she came home, I'm like, "What do you want?" I want my baby. So we
Yeah.
have like text my girlfriend, but yeah, it was pretty enjoyable though. And I'm finding empathy, realizing that most people just don't go to work, go back to normal the day after they have wisdom teeth pulled.
No.
Who knew?
Who knows?
Unless you had my dentist, which my first wisdom tooth coming out was, it needs to come out. Here, let's numb you up.
No,
Okay,
that
That's
was
what I
see ya.
did.
yeah.
That was what I did.
She made the
actually.
mistake. Like, I can't afford a general. Let's just do a local, and had all four out under a local. Mm-mm.
Oh wow, yeah.
No, not good.
Good times.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah.
times.
Well, the second time I went through, and the dentist was like, "You want to be awake for this?" Yeah, sure. Why
As
not?
well. What's last time?
Wait, there's an option? All right.
Yeah.
Well, so Max, speaking of things that need unlocking, what do you do if you have something that needs unlocking as a Sith sorcerer?
Well, because even if there's a sign on the pedestal that exactly tells you what to do, apparently Sith sorcerers are relatively illiterate and ragey, so
Oh,
they just
no.
shoot lightning at everything, of course.
Right?
So apparently the Sith sorcerers have been a little trying to unlock California lately.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
not been good.
No.
But yeah, we had a little bit of lightning in the Midwest too.
Gotcha.
Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening.
Yes.
Well, that's
And a lot of
part
wind.
of why I've been so sleepy is getting everyone woken up at 5 a.m. to a very potent thunderstorm down here. So
Oh.
it's just been all over the place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because you're
the kind
down.
that start fires on houses.
Yeah. No, that's not good.
No.
All right. So, Max, what have you been up to in game besides unlocking things with lightning?
So Star Wars, bunch of stuff continues to go on weekly. So we have a lot of fun every week. And on the Tuesday night, our mandatory fun night, continuing to do fun things there. I think we went after some world bosses. Seema needs to remind me. I always forget exactly what we did. Thursday. What did we do Tuesday?
Well, you reminded me last time when we did the podcast, but I think we did world bosses.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think we did
that
some
sounds right.
world bosses. We did some of the more obscure world bosses. Then Thursday is our ops night, so we do a bunch of fun things then. So I've been crafting. This is the final weekend for gambling. I'm gonna do a little bit of that probably during the show tonight while we're talking. I've got some tokens. It's my last chance to get the Rhodian companion, which I continue to rant about and be angry about in a fun way. But then I've also been just in and out of every other AIE game as well. I've done a little bit every day in Star Trek because there's an event going on, so you got to log in and onto the beaches of Ryza and do your dailies in Star Trek. I'm checking in a bunch in Lotro lately because I'm still continuing to level up character there. In and out of World of Warcraft. I'm trying to boost up my cloak on the Alliance side. My druid's looking pretty good. Gear score's over 450. On the
Nice.
Alliance alt.
Nice.
Bunch, and then so maybe we can save it to the end if there's time. But the last 72 hours, pretty much, I have been hardcore addicted to the beta of Dual Universe.
Yep.
There's a couple
Hardcore.
AIE people in. It's going to be like 2 a.m. and then then get up again at 7:30 because your brain's still thinking about what you got to
Wow.
do,
Right.
and then
Yeah.
so
Yeah, I
I
heard-
I've
That's
been doing it
exciting.
non-stop.
That's
I heard
awesome.
the game's like a mix of 3 different really addictive games all together.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. It's a little bit of a sort of a less complicated version of the 3 games, but when you put them all together, it makes it quite
Very.
in
It
depth.
that makes it sound rich and compelling.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's Landmark with sort of the voxel building. It's Eve with space PvP and trade and markets and flying spaceships around in space. And then it's like No Man's Sky. Like you're going onto a planet, you're mining, and you're gathering resources so you can build things. A lot of that kind of real
Cool.
No Man's Sky feel I'm getting to.
Have you done any of the space PvP?
No, I don't think the space PvP part is turned on yet.
Oh.
So they're letting everyone just get into this build mode and get establish some bases. I have a base, it's relatively empty, but I made some industrial equipment. I've created a ship. I put some space engines on it. I spent, literally probably 4 to 6 hours today just working on this ship, trying to learn it. There's no wikis, there's no instructions. There's a Discord where you can ask random people questions, but did get my ship into space, and then it spun out of control, and I didn't know what I was doing, and nearly crashed it. I fell from 11,000 meters to the planet, but I was able to save my ship. There's
Kerbal
still a little bit
Space
of a
Program.
debug mode.
Yeah.
If your ship gets lost, they have a debug beta feature that it will, wherever it is, it'll sort of like teleport it to you,
Oh, nice.
which is nice.
Very cool.
Yeah. So tons of fun stuff. That's been me.
All right. Mew, besides thunderstorms, what have you been up to?
Oh, let's see. A little bit of the Fallout 76. It's getting long in the tooth in this new event. I'm starting to see a lot of people kind of getting tired of, at first it was great to have something to strive towards, but now it's like, well, now it feels like WoW dailies. So when
Yeah.
when that happens, you know that things may not doing that well. But it is meat week. So if you like barbecuing weird random creatures and
West Virginia, got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. And it's hosted by Graham, everyone's favorite super mutant. So it's an interesting party. But other than that, then of course, I mean, we'll talk about it in the large info dump, but like spending a good deal of time in Final Fantasy 14. The story just continues to be impressively good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
if it didn't tug at your heartstrings, you're not alive.
Yep. Or and this latest patch has really been a example of why the story is so important all the way through. Like if you've skipped any of those parts, there's like so many little nuances and so many little things that. It's like for like the big example is that they made the Crystal Tower mandatory now.
Yeah.
Like before it was optional. Well, that kind of gives you a clue that Crystal Tower was how long ago?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean that was 2.0. Like that's they've been plotting this stuff for so long, and it's just seeing some of that actually finally coming out has been pretty amazing. So yeah, that's where I've been spending a lot of time. That and crafting. Crafting is just so interesting. They unlocked that new beast tribe.
Yeah,
it's a crafting beast tribe. So yeah, it's just it's still amazing how they make crafting and gathering actually interesting.
Yeah.
So
I was gonna say I just got done with the upgrading the Sky Tool to the Sky Tool +1, and then to the Dragon Song version. Tedious, but what are you gonna do? There's a little mini game about like how can I optimize this particular node to get the most parts I need out of it. So.
Yep. Push this button, it makes it do this. Push that button, it does this over here. Yeah. It's no longer just let me just whack away at a spot for a bit. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, that's pretty much been my focus. I have been also watching a lot of streamers playing. A lot of interactive games have popped up recently. Like Fall Guys has been really popular with everyone. There's another game called, I think it's SCP. It's like a sort. SCP has been real popular because it's this weird, like, some prisoners and scientists are trying to escape this scary place, and then there's a team of scary monsters going on, and it's so interesting that like if you do get killed off, you might get pulled into another aspect of the whole story because there's all kinds of stuff going on. It feels like they're trying to do a little bit of, it's not quite a D&D session, but it is like there's little aspects of it, like if your character gets killed off, no big deal, you watch for a little bit, but then like all of these army guys are coming in to take care of what's going on. Well, now you're one of the army guys. It's it's very, very fascinating to watch. And then the other one has been Among Us, which is it reminds me a lot of if you've ever played Werewolf, those interactive group games that you usually play in person. There's other versions of it where like you're assigned a role, and then you're all trying to figure out who the bad guy is, but it's now in the digital way of doing it. So it's almost like they're trying to figure out how to do all those in-person games now online, and it's just fascinating to see how this stuff's popping up.
Well, and I hope that accelerates because, I mean, as Heather demonstrates almost every week, most of the people she plays with online are spread out around the U.S. and other countries. So the more you can do in a group setting online interactively, I think it'll be fun.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, the reason why I bring these games up is this kind of stuff would be fascinating to play as part of the AIE group. I think that,
Oh, yeah.
because this is the kind of stuff we did in person when we went to Nerdaculars and whatnot. That, we did this stuff all together.
Essentially, board games online, but interactive.
Yes, yeah. So it's just fascinating to see this pop up. So I'm going to keep an eye on that, and just because that'll be fun stuff to do if we get some virtual gatherings going on.
Yeah,
or
like a virtual BlizzCon or a virtual GamesCon or whatever. Yeah.
Or a night that raid gets canceled, but you still want to hang out, or
exactly.
Yep.
All right,
that's enough out of me.
Seema, what have you been up to besides not healing Max?
Well, I'm sure he deserved it.
I have been deep into a real world version of inventory management.
Oh, no.
No one wants to be there.
Yeah, I had this, I got this bee in my bonnet about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, about how, when you log into a game and you look at, and your inventory's full, and you just think, man, I don't feel like playing now, or I'm going to roll up a new character or go play another game or take a nap.
Yeah.
But I realized that little phenomenon is pretty powerful in the virtual world. It's probably really super powerful in the real world.
Oh, yeah.
And so I started looking around at, all the surfaces in my house. And I'm not a house person. I'm not house proud, and I don't have good housekeeping habits or whatever. So over the 10 years I've been in the house, I've accumulated stuff because it doesn't go out at the same rate that it comes in.
Never does.
And so I got this bee in my bonnet that I'm going to reduce the inventory in my house so that it's just like one row in my bag.
That's a good
Great way
way
to
of
look
putting
at
it. Yeah.
So I've been literally going through every closet, every surface, everything, and making bags, taking them to Goodwill. It's exhausting mentally, as
but
well
it's
as
a
physically.
catharsis.
Well, I mean, I hope it will be. I'm still kind of today I was at kind of that point where I'm like, is this really making a difference? Because now I'm like, I've cleaned out a bunch of closets, but once you close the closet doors,
you can't.
They look
see
the
it.
same.
Yeah.
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 But I have noticed there's a few things that where am I going to put this thing? Oh, I know, because I have a cleaned out closet.
Exactly.
It can go in there. So, I mean, this is not an exciting activity, but that's what I've had my head into the last few weeks. In SWOTOR, I've been gambling.
Yes.
And I've been, I mean, actually, SWOTOR is the game that taught it to me, because we have 7 tabs of legacy storage. Each character has 7 tabs of basically a bank, right?
Right.
And then you have a lot of room in your inventory, but you get all 3 of those full, and then you're in for 2 hours of getting rid of stuff and making decisions and blah, 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 blah. And I know a lot of people tell me, well, just take care of it all the time, and then it's never a problem.
Nope.
I don't understand that. I don't know how to do that. So I'm trying to learn how to do that, but both in virtual world and real world. So I'm looking for a big payback.
Yeah. No, we did that with one of our hall closets and a couple other things. And we had those 55-gallon industrial bags of sheets and towels and comforters that were all crammed into this one reach-in, linen closet. Nope. St. Vincent de Paul, went out the door to them. The veterans and people can use it. So,
and of course, we've been in this house for 21 years.
Yeah.
It's impressive.
So, and
it's a lot.
It's hard not to clean something and then immediately go to the next area and go, oh, I could just put that in that thing I just cleaned. No, stop that. Stop it. Yeah.
Right.
Max, that looks a little too clean. What is that?
Yeah, what is that?
Oh, my inventory?
Yeah.
Sorry, I was typing with
That's okay.
Discord chat all about Dual Universe.
Because obviously,
trading
since I
tips.
was talking, he was doing something else.
Yeah.
Right.
No,
Yeah.
well, no, I opened it when you were talking about it.
She did, yeah.
Because this is, I mean, I have 4 or 5 more rows of this in my bank too.
Right.
Each time you open one of these, you get like 5 pieces of gear
Yeah.
out of it. So, and then for
Mhm.
each piece of gear, you
Yeah.
need to decide what you're going to do with it.
Yeah.
So this is, there's like hundreds of pieces of gear, and it's
Like when you
it's
get
kind
something
of-
from Amazon too, because like you bought the thing, but then there's the box that it was in, and then the box
And
that the
the
box
stuff.
was in.
Yes. Yep.
And so our house becomes, the cat's newest favorite place to hang out.
I have like Mount Boxmore in my garage.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, we have literal box forts downstairs.
Our youngest also likes the box forts.
The worst part of SOTOR inventory, at least, is there's no search function.
Mm.
Like, if I could search and know that I've got 5 of them, but they're on 5 different tabs in 2 different storage areas, great. Then I can get rid of 4 of them, but no. So
It is doable. Final Fantasy 14 has it.
I know.
So does WoW via add-ons. It's
Well,
yeah.
We won't get into
It's-
that, but like
It's a
search-
database.
I know.
They know. They
Yeah.
know.
Well, I think you told. Who did you have on? You had
Dan Steed.
Daniel Steed. Like,
Yeah.
Yep.
search function and alphabetical sorting of guild pane, please.
But they've said for many years now that it's because of how that's all designed. It's not that that easy to do. But I have a solution that I created in my mind, which is that they could put in a tooltip for items. They could put how many you have in your inventory of that item, how many you have in legacy storage, and how many you have in your bank, because they already have that information for crafting.
Yeah. No, exactly.
It wouldn't give me what do my other characters have, but at least I wouldn't have to eyeball every tab of everything looking for the icon to see if I had glass of champagne.
Yeah. No, I agree. So. All right. And speaking of searching, what's that?
Aren't we forgetting about you?
Well, I was just gonna go into it. Speaking of searching for inventory and dealing with add-ons, I've been spending most of my time in the Shadowlands beta for WoW. I dutifully leveled from 50 to 60 because I wanted to test the systems out and see. They did something interesting this time. Normally, they launch and say, okay, here's, like the 8.0 system, and then they launch 8.1, and here's a new endgame system, and here's 8.2, and here's an extension of that 8.1 system. What they've decided to do was just put the entire patch's worth of endgame systems into the game at 9.0, and then as the patches come out, they'll release additional content within that system. So I'm just kind of looking at it like, is this going to be viable and everything? One thing I noticed is just leveling 50 to 60 and starting the Covenant campaign, I have 7 different currencies already. Like, do we need this many currencies? So I'm providing feedback. Like, I understand we've got an entire expansion's worth of systems in here, but having 7 different currencies and trying to remember this goes to this person in this zone, this goes to this, without any sort of tooltip or add-on to remind you who wants this, it's a little bit frustrating right now, but the story's really good. So, and Mew, the Tower of the Dead in Final Fantasy 14.
Torghast.
Torghast is
yeah.
It's definitely worth it. Just the little bit of
Torghast,
go ahead.
Is it like the Mage Tower or like the Visions?
It's
basically
it's a roguelike. So you go in and there is an exit at the very top, but you can like go, if you've made it 10 floors and you're like, okay, I'm done, you can, exit out if you want, or you can try and make it to the final boss, but it's random every time. It's a different theme of who you run into every time. You get different power-ups every time. So one of the things I have is an ability that prevents damage called Ignore Pain. Well, you can get a power inside Torghast that when you cast that, it has a random chance of also activating my shield wall at the same time without putting it on cooldown. So it's like one ability can launch another ability, but not put it on cooldown. And there's a whole bunch of these that you get, and they're different every time you go through. So you can really kind of customize how you want your character to do you want more healing? Do you want more damage? Do you want more of the currency that drops in there so you can buy more power-ups? There's some addicting gameplay in there.
So why do you do Torghast?
The main reason is right now I'm doing it is for the story.
No, not okay. But
it's like Island Expeditions.
Right, but after that,
there's no story
it's
in
going to be
Island
for loot.
Expeditions.
Well, no, there's no story in Island Expeditions. Torghast is where the bad guy keeps all his prisoners, the most powerful prisoners. But
are you doing it for one of those 7 currencies or for
you're doing it
for
crafting basically.
Yeah.
For crafting.
That's where your crafting materials are gonna come from, so that you can craft your own legendary and gear up your equipment. So
are there pets in there?
Good question.
I bet.
You do get. I'm trying to think if there are pets in there. There's not fishing. I already checked that. There are scenarios where you can get people to follow you around and help you, like your companions in SWTOR.
Okay.
But I have not found pets. But also, a lot of the loot that when you finish the tower right now just says placeholder. So I don't know what it is.
And then
it sounds like something I could really fall in love with, or not.
I think there are, if I remember correctly, there are pets and mounts and gear that drops in there in those end thing chests, depending on how far you progress. So it could get really addicting really fast. And there's no timer on it. They took the timer off, thank God. So you don't feel like you're rushed to get through it. And there's no currency lock for the
there's no gate to get in.
There's no gate to get in the first section of it. And then if you want to go higher, there's a currency that you have to earn to go higher. So it's really interesting.
A bunch of MMOs are creating these. Final Fantasy has a couple of them. They're each floor is random, procedurally generated. It's different every time you go in. And the idea is after you've done all of the things, you now have this almost Diablo-ish kind of experience where you can just go in and go floor to floor to floor. Each floor is sort of like a mini dungeon.
It is,
and you get together with a group and you say, we're going to go do 10 floors in Torghast.
Get
some,
and that's the nice thing. You can solo it or you can go in with up to 5 people. So.
Yeah, and it's so random. You could come across a floor that's literally just a bunch of teleport portals that, you could find the right portal immediately, or it could take you 10 minutes to find the right portal.
Yeah.
Just weird stuff like that happens in there.
There are mini puzzles. There was one where I ended up getting 3 keys, but I only found 1 chest unlocked because there were doors that weren't open on that floor for this run through. So, yeah.
When you first said that it's got different stories and there's a boss at the top, it made me think of Sword Art Online.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. A little bit.
I think it's just similar to. I think that's their replacement for Island Expedition.
Yeah,
I mean,
it is.
Island Expedition.
Yeah.
But it's a random procedurally generated. There's kind of a story going on. The island is erupting, and then you kill the big eruption boss at the end.
Yeah.
Right.
It's that kind of story.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a progression.
But
not
for
really,
me, Island Expeditions is content drought activity.
Correct.
Yes.
Yeah. Whereas
So that's why they're trying to
Torghast
squish it
is
together.
Yeah,
You're right on.
Torghast, there's always going to be quests and other things that will drive you back to Torghast. So it's going to be, it's the linchpin activity. Everything's going to flow through Torghast, except PvP. PvP, Mythic. But as far as like the main story, everything's centering around Torghast and the Maw itself. So...
Yeah, it's essentially like Island Expeditions and Horrific Visions. You smush those together, and you kind of get what they're trying to do.
Which I'm kind of enjoying both of those right now. So that sounds good.
Yep. All right. Well, we'll be digging into SWTOR, not WoW, SWTOR shortly. But first, let's cover this week's news.
AIE News.
We are going to skip over the mandatory fun nights. However, they are listed both on our show notes, each podcast, and they are in the AIE Discord. So if you need them, they're there for you. But we're going to talk about streaming and guild podcast news. And we're going to start off with STO, which the mandatory fun night for that started 5 minutes ago. Go join Gent, and I think Tabby's in there right now. But they are doing STO mandatory fun night. The Fleet Action Report came out, and that is episode 6. Nikitas and Greebog cover a lot of what you need to know about duty officers and bridge officers, and they broadcast every Monday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Max time, Monday evenings on YouTube. And speaking of SWTOR, Escape Podcast 349, live with Daniel Steed of BioWare. Seema and Max catch up with Daniel Steed, a key part of the BioWare SWTOR community team, in a late-night interview to learn more about what he does, what he plays, and what he wants for SWTOR. And I will just say that was a really interesting interview, and you guys went long in that, because normally you try and keep it to about an hour, and you went like an hour and a half, right?
Mm-hmm. We did.
I was actually able to catch it
Hour and
live.
50 minutes.
Yeah.
That's how late you guys were all going.
Longest show. Yeah. Longest show we've ever done by 30 minutes.
Yeah.
By far, yeah.
That was good. And in Escape Podcast 350, there's that number again, Master of Disguise with Thawne. Episode, they talked with Thawne, guild member and master of pop culture character design. They get design tips and show over a dozen of his best designs, including Spider Thawne, Thor, Wonder Thawne, and others. No. What was it? It was...
Dethana. Dethana is his Wonder Woman. Yeah.
Exactly.
Nice.
No, it was really good. And the outfits and the designs you come up with is
mind-boggling.
It's amazing. Yeah.
Well, I'll pull him up during the segment.
Yes,
When we
please.
get to it. He's just incredible at doing that.
And while Max does that, in Working Class Nerds, we are going global with Avira. The guys chat with Dutch Twitch streamer and SWTOR content creator Averina. They discuss the role-playing community in SWTOR and what it means and how to get involved. Plus, they also take you through their hectic lives since the last episode. You can find my eyes are not working. Avria at twitch.tv/Avria.
And over in those where the murder hobos are doing stuff, the Eve guys are looking into Eve Echoes, which is the mobile version of Eve, and would love to know how much interest there is in the guild. If you could head over to the Eve Embassy and let them know.
Yep.
And if you're interested in what Max was talking about with Dual Universe, Katavari let us know that it goes into open beta this coming Friday, August 27th, and the NDA will lift that day as well. And Kazric tells us that a recruiter friend comes out at the same time.
Some late breaking news while we were recording from the conversation. I'm like, I just add that to the notes there. All right. And in Nomad's news, Diablo 3, some new folks are popping into the experience. I can't speak. Some new folks are popping in to experience the current season's content. No announcement or news since the last show. Sorry about that. I really didn't need to say that part. Division 2. The state of the game has returned. There is an episode posted on YouTube. Appearance mods. Division 2 joins the ranks of other games by offering customized appearance for gears without altering the stats. There's more information on Ubisoft's website. Title Update 11 PTS is around the corner, and so is Season 3. More information about these topics in the September 2nd State of the Game stream. And in Destiny 2 news, read all about the Destiny Content Vault, DCV, and what it means for you when it kicks off with Tier 4 on November 10th, which is on Bungie's website. Some more information there. That's all the talk lately. Keep checking in on your Guardian friends and Discord for completing all that content that'll be disappearing in the next few months.
Yep. And in WoW, Gusty Tail is running the Trial of Style on the 4th of September. In free t-shirt day went off again thanks to Gusty Tail, and everyone got a lot of t-shirts. That was fun. I'm sure some of them are going to end up in the guild bank, and Shoujo won't be happy.
Yeah, put them with the milk.
Exactly. BTC finished ahead of the curve, and Where's the Tank is a brand new raid team that's over halfway through normal and 2 bosses into heroic.
And they need, apparently, not ironically, they need a tank.
That's fabulous.
I think that showed up in
that's
in
an appropriate
name.
Yeah.
Yeah, looking for raid members. So check in Discord in the appropriate Discord channel there. It's our raid team recruitment under community and social. And if you are a tank, then a tank, a backup tank, a couple DPS, and a healer. So plenty of opportunities there.
Yep.
It's a really fun time too to join those late expansion WoW teams, because gear catch up is easy these days, and there's still an opportunity to get some of those achievements, like the kill heroic
ahead of the curve,
and you get the mount, and you can still do it.
Yep, and there's still teams taking on Mythic Jaina to get her mount as well.
Yep.
So just keep an eye out on those guild messages.
Sweet.
Over in WoW Classic on Wednesday, August 26th, WoW Classic celebrates its first anniversary. To celebrate, Nevermore and Coma.
It's been a year.
Yeah,
I know that's stunning.
But Nevermore and Coma are planning on a special activity next Sunday, August 30th at 2 p.m. Eastern. That's their usual tea time for WoW Classic. Keep an eye on the WoW Classic Discord channel for more information. Raid nights with the United Orgrimmar team continue to be awesome. They have cleared Molten Core and finished a full clear of AQ20, which is pretty impressive because that just came out. So they
did
mow right through that stuff. The schedule for Molten Core has moved to Saturday so that more time can be devoted to Blankwing Lair on Sundays. If you're interested in raiding, let them know, and they'll help guide you in the right direction. Also, Green Wall is now active in WoW Classic. The goal is to make communication easier with our friends in United Orgrimmar and another small guild called For the Birds during raid nights and various other activities throughout the week. Make sure you download the Green Wall add-on so you can see all of the combined conversation. Otherwise, you'll only see about a third of what's going on, and you don't want to miss out. A friendly reminder that the main guild chat is still considered family-friendly, so please be respectful to everyone.
So AIE rules.
Yep. Exactly.
If you're interested in creating a character with AIE Guild and WoW Classic, we play Horde on the Pagel PvE realm. Once you make a character, jump into the LFO channel in Discord and request a guild invite, and we hope to see you in game soon.
Right, in an ESO news, Update 27, which includes the Stonethorn DLC releases for PC and Mac, yes, it is tomorrow. All right. On August 24th and September 1st for consoles. Stonethorn will have 2 new 4-person dungeons that continue the stories told in Storm DLC, and in Greymore. The new dungeons are Castle Thorn, where you're assaulting a fortress to put a stop to an evil invasion, and Stone Garden, where you confront a evil genius and its experiments. Update 27, which is a game-based patch, will have performance improvements to help with stability and reducing load times, and will add homestead character pathing. Character pathing will allow you to build paths for your pets, assistants, and mounts to follow them when they're placed in your house. They don't just stand alone in one spot. For mandatory fun nights on Friday, August 28th, they'll be splitting into 2 groups to run the 2 new dungeons together.
Awesome. And in Final Fantasy XIV news, patch 5.3 hit, which includes the conclusion to the Shadowbringers storyline. And yeah, heartstrings on that one. The next chapter of the Yorha Dark Apocalypse 24-player raid and the Sorrow of... Okay, Mew, how do you say that?
Werlit
storyline. Unreal Trials, Dwarven Tribe quest for crafters. The compression of the quest fluff in the base A Realm Reborn to help new players. Flying is added to the original zones and more. Free trial.
And to just give you
go ahead.
A small bit of that. It shaved hours and hours. There's actually there's a YouTuber called Mr. Happy that did a full like throughout the entire process of just he purposely did the old one right before the patch, right, and then redid it again after the patch, and it was just hours and hours and hours have been cut, and not to mention the flying is apparently done a huge amount. So yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, that was so long that the ARR.
It was. It was long.
Before you get to the next expansion.
Yeah. Here's the end of ARR. Here's the post ARR 100 quests. Okay, now you can go into the pre-Heaven's Word patch. Yeah, no.
Yeah. I think that they actually had like a Guinness World Record for longest end cinematics for that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right. The free trial to the game also has been expanded. Now, for no financial investment, you can play through the game levels 1 to 60, including all the content from A Realm Reborn that's been redone, as we just said, which is the base or vanilla content, and all of the first expansion, Heaven's Ward, including the classes and jobs that came in for Heaven's Ward. There are also 2 seasonal events happening right now. The Moonfire Fair, save the Eorzean tradition of the Moonfire Fair. Start your adventure in Lemsa Lamensa Upper Decks. Earn Summer Beach Hawaiian-style cosmetic, dances, and Moonfire Fair outdoor furnishing. The event will last until August 26th, so 2 days from now, but takes less than an hour to earn all of the rewards from the event. The other event is the return of the Yokai Watch event, but it now has been expanded for Shadowbringers. Earn 17 new yokai-themed minions all across Eorzea. If you earn 13 of them, a yokai mount will be yours, but there are also legendary yokai medallions to be earned to be traded in for cosmetic weapons. If you earn 13 of these, you will earn another yokai mount. If you really work at it and earn all 17 weapons, then you'll get the final mount, the Jibinyan Couch mount. This event takes time to compete for its entirety, but you have until patch 5.4 before the Yokai Watch event goes on hiatus once more. I hope you like more seasonal events, because August 27th, the next seasonal event starts, The Rising. This event will run until September 14th. This is the game's ARR relaunching anniversary event, often playing tribute to the game, the main characters, and to the players themselves. The event will start up in Ul'dah in the Steppes of Nald.
Yeah, this is the one where they actually often break the fourth wall and are thanking you specifically from the producers and developers, saying thank you for playing, thank you for believing us, etc., etc. They've had some interesting little mini games pop up, and it's always weird to get pulled out of your story zone and and say, hey, thanks for playing our game, thanks for feeding us.
Right. I bet.
Alrighty. Now, in free company news for Final Fantasy XIV, patch 5.3 has brought new items that can be discovered via map nights. So Saturday nights at 9:30 p.m. Eastern is the place for fun, adventure, and profit. Some of these items have the potential to go for more than millions of gil. on the player market. So it is highly profitable to come along. Not to mention, map nights are just tons of fun, period. So it doesn't matter if they're dropping anything interesting at all. There's plenty of mandatory fun nights throughout the week. These are just times that we get together to run content, whether it's roulettes, legacy raids, or farming for mounts or cosmetic gear. If you're stuck in a dungeon and want to run it with AIE folks, the mandatory fun nights are a great event to ask to have those ran with. The Discord channel is FFXIV, the Roman numerals for 14. It's where most of the Final Fantasy chatter happens. While we're not going to discourage any kind of game chatter, of course, but Discord has fallen down as the de facto tool for game chatter, both text and voice. Game discussion can be found there, either if you are in-game or if you are out around exploring Earth on your computers, tablets, or mobile devices. Essentially just trying to, like, if you're worried that it's quiet in-game, you might want to go check Discord, because
Makes sense.
People are probably talking over voice chat or typing in the text channel. Also, please note that AIE in Final Fantasy XIV does employ a main story quest spoiler-free policy that extends to the in-game FC chat as well as the main Discord channel. Please refrain from any main story quest spoilers, including the base content in ARR, as there are lots of new players in the game, and they'd be surprised to the many twists and turns that the story shows to those players. If you do wish to discuss plot elements of the game, we have set up a new channel called FFXIV-Spoilers to discuss these items. Please keep the main story quest surprises to this channel to keep surprises a surprise to the folks that have not consumed the surprise yet. Surprise, surprise. Also new to the Final Fantasy XIV Discord channels is the FFXIV Guides in Tips channel. Here we'll be compiling a list of tips, guides, and other resources for Final Fantasy XIV. Some of these we found on the web and other Final Fantasy XIV content creators, but others are created from our own members. We will be pinning the things to it's where you put the little thumbtack in it, so that everyone can find it up top. The guides and tricks will be there in order for you to quickly find the guides you are looking for. Feel free to post stuff in there that you have found helpful or processes that you have found help you in the game. And as always, we are happy to help anyone and everyone get started or returning to the Eorzean Adventures. Drop down to FFXIV, and we'd be happy to get you started today.
Right, and we have two quick little updates here. STO, the Rise of Summer event, is still ongoing. There's still a couple of weeks left to participate. Fleet Night is still Sunday at 8:30 p.m. This week they're completing the Lost 2800 episodes. And in Lochmore news, Summer Festival / Farmers Fair are now combined events, and they're live through September 6th. In the past week, our friends in Lotro got a group together to storm Carndum. They cleared out not just the men. Wow.
Did you write this, Max? No, it was Malin.
No.
Malin, yes. Agramar, but the women and children, Angramar.
Yeah.
Angramar.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was Malon, but that may be left too.
Like, what? They're looking to do more and bigger group content in the future. Don't forget, if you have not claimed your free quest packs, to do so by August 31st. The code is LOTRO Free Quests in the LOTRO store.
All right.
And it's all uppercase.
Yep.
And I looked at the channel on Saturday night, and there were like 8 people in there.
Yeah.
Sweet.
No, it was busy. It was really
great.
fun.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, now that we've got through the news, thanks, Apple, let's get back to Max and Seema and find out what's going in Star Wars.
Mm-hmm.
Well, now it's about time to finish up the podcast.
Oh, no.
I know, right?
No. You guys get to talk as long as you need.
Yes, talk as long as you want.
Well,
Seema, why don't you kick it off? You had
Okay.
you
We,
had a good rundown.
I mean, it's not like we don't get a chance to talk about SWTOR ever.
Right.
I know.
The big thing for SWTOR recently is that the launch on Steam. And that has had a great effect on the game. It's had a great effect on the guild. It's really been fun. I personally have not gone with Steam yet because, I fear change and
Same.
I'm not used to it, so I didn't do it. But I might do it when I finish my real life inventory.
Right.
I might. And there's coming up to celebrate the Steam launch. There's going to be 2 rewards. One is a flare, and it's like a steampunk, like pipe fitting kind of looking flare. And a flare is like a design that goes around your character portrait in game. And also, we're going to get an opportunity. People who don't currently have the Shea Vista companion will have an opportunity to get that. All you have to do is log in within the dates, which I did not make a note of for this. But and for the flare, I think you just have to log in. For Shea Vista, you have to sub, but you don't have to be subbed for the whole month or for the whole time. It's just sometime during this period.
Yep.
Yeah, it's a big deal. And
It is.
It's a much bigger deal than I even imagined. So I heard they were going to put it on Steam, and when I heard that, I was like, it's fine. And now that it's sort of launched and it's been out there for about 3 or 4 weeks now, it's obvious that this was a brilliant move and they should have done it a long time ago.
Yeah. Agreed.
Huge number of people returning to the game. We have new invites to the guild every day.
Great.
It's been a big thing for them.
It's almost like people have been looking at Star Wars stuff more lately or something.
Yeah, and people that didn't even realize that this game was still around. And live in Steam. It was on like the Steam front page for a while.
Exactly.
A bunch of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, it was more of a, I don't want to say free advertising because obviously, they had to get into Steam and all that. But
you're paying
the
for it.
impact of having it in Steam, on the launcher, on the front page, like, oh, I thought that game it's still going on. Oh, I'll log in and take a look at that. Yeah.
That's a name I haven't heard in a very long time.
Yeah, and not to mention just like your friends list. Like, oh, that's what Joe Bob's been doing every day for the last few months. He's been playing Star Wars.
Yeah.
Let me click this button and easily join him.
Yeah.
And so many gamers live in Steam these days. They'll be able to see that on the roadmap. What they're also going to do is turn on, it won't be 100%, but some migration of all your in-game achievements as Steam achievements. And then there'll be the usual Steam kind of rewards, like stickers or whatever happens in Steam.
Trading cards, I think.
So all of that will happen, which again, you'll see how much people have played and what all their achievements are and who's playing and who got what achievement recently, and just trying to sort of keep that visibility going, which I think is going to, again, be...
Also gives you an idea of then if you need help with something, who you can go to and say, hey, I'm working on this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, big deal. Big, huge. And here's Shea Vista. She was a reward. I think she was a subscriber reward a couple of years ago.
Yeah.
You haven't been able to get her since. It's still a subscriber reward again this time around. This one, the flare, which is, get out of the way. It's that little circle that goes around your character portrait. There's different ones of those that you can get. That you just get by logging in. The subscriber reward for getting Shea Vista is you do have to subscribe. But she's one of the best companions in the game. She's really effective. Most companions sort of share the same abilities. She just happens to be ranged instead of melee. She's got a nice death from above effect.
And she's just a very popular companion. I'm really glad they made her available again. Yeah, mine too.
And
for like fighting and questing.
Remind me, Max, if you subscribe just for even 1 month, you basically unlock all the content, all the expansions, everything's unlocked.
Permanent.
And stays unlocked. The only thing you lose when you end the subscription is you become preferred, right? And then there's certain restrictions that get enforced, but the content's all there.
Yes. So preferred, there's completely free, there's preferred, and there's subscriber. Preferred you get to if you ever buy anything. If you subscribe for a month, then you're permanently preferred. And preferred is a nice tier up from the completely free tier. They need to have those 2 tiers because they can't have like gold spammers on the free. So there's like chat restrictions and that kind of stuff. Preferred does have restrictions, but if you subscribe for 1 month, you also get then cartel coins. Get like 500 cartel coins. If you add a authenticator key to your account during that month, you can only add it if you're a subscriber, but then it stays on your account even when you go back to preferred. And if you have an authenticator key on your account, you get 100 extra cartel coins, which is the cash shop coins, per month.
Oh, wow.
Forever, even if you don't, as long as it's the authenticator, even if you're not subscribed anymore.
Fabulous.
And then you can use those cash shop coins, those cartel coins, for any of the unlocks that are sort of like annoying you at the preferred status. Like, I want an extra cargo bay, or I need extra character slots unlocked. The preferred only gives me like 12 and I want, 15. So you get free coins, you could, just pay $5 and get a whole bunch more coins. And that's how you can operate as preferred really effectively. There are a couple things that you can't do, like operations, and ranked PvP. You can't do those sort of two, higher tier end game things. So that's the bigger downside, but there's so much content. As you said, you get all the content that's ever been in the game, and you get it forever. Now it's just permanently yours. You can play it for as much as you want, and you could basically play 6 expansions worth of content and level up.
And you can play all the way to end game and then decide whether you want to do ops and ranked PvP.
Exactly. Or just start another alt and you got 7 more class stories to go.
Right.
All right. So I interrupted that. Oh, next on your list, SEMA gambling.
Gambling almost done.
Sort of show
Tuesday. Yeah. So there's an event going on right now called Narshada Nightlife, and you have tokens. You gamble the tokens. It's basically slot machines.
Mm-hmm.
And you stand there and gamble tokens trying to win the big prizes. And that's coming to a close this Tuesday.
Yes.
So, yeah. Use up your
Max
tokens.
has 2 days to get his Rhodian, right?
Yep.
We became a little notorious last year. On the show one night, Seema and I both asked the chat room, we're like, is Narshada Nightlife still going on? And it had been over like 3 or 4 weeks.
A long time. A long time.
Never let us forget that. But yeah, they changed it up a little bit this year. They added another tier of tokens. So there's only 4 of these big slot machines, these Emperor slot machines with special tokens. But these tokens have been a sort of real game changer. They give you a ton of the blue tokens, where the main prizes are. You get these tokens from doing operations. They just drop. So it's been a little bit different this year, and a ton of people have been winning a ton of things, except for me.
Yeah. Okay.
I think they programmed it in there. It just says, if Max equals no.
Equals no.
Now, I sort of took off and haven't been gambling the last week because I had gone for weeks and not won the Rhodian Companion, which was the big prize last year. And it's still there this year. And I didn't win it last year. They usually add it to the vendor the year after. They didn't this year.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm having fun, ranting about being so unlucky.
You're having fun not having your Rhodian.
Right.
Yes. But truth be told, I've won everything else. I've got enough of the certificates. I won the new rare mount that dropped this year. This Kingpin's Predator. That's actually harder to get than the Rhodian. But I still get to complain about not getting.
Yeah, I'm still trying to get the mount.
I was going to ask if you'd got it yet, Seema.
No, I'm all out of Emperor's chips. So now I'm just rolling my Kingpin chips, hoping for an Emperor chip while we talk.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Very cool. So yes, in-game gambling.
Yes.
Guild events. We got a bunch of those going on. You want to?
Yep. Well, just to remind everyone that we have our MFN on Tuesday nights. We have Mega monthly, and Marcus runs that. B. Kavanaugh runs MFNs on Tuesday, and they both do a fantastic job. And then bi-weekly, meaning every other week, roughly. We have Mei Ling runs Master Mode Flashpoints. We do have 6 ops teams, and then a 7th team that's like a friend of the guild ops team. So there's a lot of operations going on most nights of the week as well.
That's
Wonderful.
crazy. That's a lot of ops teams.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And they're
great.
continuing to run. Yeah.
All right. So, Max, we need to hear a little bit about your Max discusses with Daniel Steed. Here's my list of needs.
Yeah,
Oh,
that
right.
That was pretty fun. When you interview someone from BioWare, you can't expect that they're going to be able to answer the hard questions like, 10th anniversary. You've hinted that something big is coming. Announce it right here in this interview.
Right.
Right. Yeah, they're not going to be able to do that.
Or the here's my nitpicky bug that has bothered me for 3 years. When is it going to be fixed? I don't know. Can't
Yeah.
I don't know. So what I did though, because I had asked, we had asked for questions for Daniel Steed, and he's a community manager, so he like watches the forums, he does a lot of the publishing of the news articles and some cool stuff. But I told everybody that had been sending these lists of things in that I'll still get them out there, but don't expect any answers to them. And then I prepped Daniel and I said, okay, here we go. I'm going to go through this list, and I don't expect it to respond to any. I think he just made facial expressions because we had a video on there too. But I did, so the run through was, we want faster mounts, we want weapons and weapon designer, we want a mech shot stronghold, and I explained my design for it and why they should hire me to build it. And I had this in order. I had the community wants less hutball in PvP matches. The community also wants more hutball in PvP matches.
So get right on that.
Which is what you get when you sort of like, half the people want more, half the people want less. Oh, and then we had a couple rants. I think Seema got to do a rant about inventory search to Daniel.
I was there with her in spirit for that rant. I've been after that for years.
I'm sure.
I did a rant. This is only impacts guild leaders, but there's this ability to pass out keys, which means somebody can decorate the guild stronghold or the guild ship.
Yeah.
So you have sort of like 2 guild houses, and they're really cool, and you can decorate them.
So if you're the guild leader and you want to delegate that,
There you go.
It's terribly difficult.
It is.
The UI is just the worst thing ever in any game ever. Look, I mean, there's 99 pages. They're in no order. I've tried to figure out the order. I think they're just like assigned to GUID and sorted by GUID, because it's not alphabetical. It's not order they joined. It's not by legacy name. They're just, so it's random order. And look, so you got a page, and use your eyeballs and page through each of these pages. And I can't even just like scan, because if you look at the little tooltip, it covers the bottom name on the list.
Yeah, the 10th one is covered up.
Yeah, so they gotta move your mouse, click, move your mouse. 99 pages of this.
That would drive me insane.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we went through a whole bunch of things in the list like that, and just sort of threw it at him, and he was a super good sport.
Neat.
And super prepared and gracious, and just wanted to get through everything. After about an hour, we were like, all right, I think we're coming to a close here. And he's like, oh wait, there's a few more questions about blah blah blah. Okay, all right, that's
all right.
Yeah, awesome.
50 minutes later, after we started to end the show, we shut it down for the night. So it was really fun. And then the other interview was this past week, and I did bring up those pictures just so you could see them. Thon, one of our guild members, really cool guy in the guild, on our ops team. His little side project is he creates pop culture reference characters in Star Wars with the character creator. So he picks the class, he picks the race and the hairstyle, and then gets the costume parts from a bunch of different sources, and does things you would not expect you could be able to do in Star Wars. So he's done, I mean, look at the Spider-Man.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
He's got a special mount. It came from a Nightmare operation, which looks like the Doc Ock arms from the Stark, the Stark suit that Spider-Man got. And he went so far as to run that operation on this character just so he could get that mount. In fact, he paid another guild
Yeah, to carry.
like more credits than most people will ever have in the game to get carried through that nightmare operation to get that mount on this character so that the character creation would be perfect.
Yep.
That's funny. Oh my gosh.
The
Wow.
Borg, the bounty hunter.
Impressive.
I mean, there's games where they have a really customizable character creator where you expect to be able to do this kind of stuff. Ahsoka Tano. Star Wars is not one of those.
No.
If you
Yeah,
look
yeah.
around, if you run
Yeah.
around
Oh,
the
that Wonder
fleet,
Woman's
people look like
amazing.
Star Wars characters.
Yeah, yeah.
So to be able to do like Iron Man and Wonder Woman
Mhm.
Yeah.
is just it's
He's
fascinating.
Neat.
very creative.
Yeah.
Yeah. And his on the pub site he made a tank, and that tank is He-Man,
Yes.
and it looks
Yeah.
just like him, and it's hilarious because that's the one he goes in the group finder with, and people are like, what?
And he made sure it was on a Guardian because a Guardian has the ability where they take their weapon and they put the weapon over, does
Over
the
their
He-Man
head.
by the
Put
power
the
of
right
Grace spell
pose.
thing.
Yep.
And
Yep.
and then there's a burst of light, and he used a bladed weapon and not a lightsaber. Again,
So cool.
so he every detail you could imagine.
He's all in, man.
does,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he did a
yeah.
Thor has the big axe.
Oh yeah.
The Thor,
Yeah.
the Thor with the eye patch, with the big axe, and then he
Mhm.
took his companion. He took one of the companions. I forgot, just one of the male companions,
I think it was Quinn.
It was Quinn.
Quinn.
Yeah.
and dressed it in a perfect replica of Loki. With
Yes.
he used the Marco
wow.
Ragnos with the
Uh-huh.
horns, hat, helm. So, and he did this animated GIF where he stood there as Thor, and then he pulled out the axe, and then he made it an Inquisitor, so it could do this lightning effect. So it does this big lightning storm, and each time he did like the extra thing, and I just was out loud laughing at my desk. And then the companion came out as Loki, and I just lost it.
Yeah.
by
That's
myself in
fabulous.
my own house, but
No, it was amazing. Yeah.
And the latest one he did was a Doctor Strange, and it looks just like. I mean, it's just crazy.
Yeah.
yeah. So
Some people can decorate really well. He can do characters amazingly.
Yeah. Like in-game cosplay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Exactly.
check that out. With the full video of the podcast, and you can it's bookmarked on YouTube. You can skip ahead and just sort of fast forward through and see all of his costumes.
Yeah.
Really, really well done.
Very cool.
Yeah. So did you win a Emperor's chip yet, Seema?
Nope, I did not.
I'm down to my last Emperor's chip, and it got me 200. Dang it.
I
certificates.
spent all my Kingpin chips, but I just got one more. So let's see what that.
I have 200 kingpins now, so it could be the Rhodian. I could get it before the end of the night, but I better do it before Tuesday, because then
Not next year.
everything is-
Exactly.
Yeah.
But then you have a whole nother year to complain about it.
This is the pro tip. This is how you do it. You
You gotta
play
do-
3 machines at once, because the machines have like a 3-second
cooldown?
cooldown, and the global cooldown
yeah.
is only 1 second, so you can keep lost.
Not
Nothing.
seeing anything.
Nothing.
Vegas
I'm not gonna do this all
tips.
night.
Exactly. Playing three
What-
machines.
Yeah.
Anything else, Seema? Or you guys have any other questions about Star Wars? It's I
So-
guess go ahead.
While we were here, I did get 22 golden certificates and 5 cartel market certificates.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, those are
And
sort of in-game currency.
Yeah, we have to.
Nice stuff.
And there's cool things you can buy with them. Super cool things. But these people tell me these merchants here attached to this event are around even after the event goes. So
Yes.
Gotcha.
There's an area of
Yeah.
the fleet called the Cartel Bazaar, which has a ton of the merchants for all the events that just sort of hang around all year round, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, that was a smart idea to put them all there. Then you're like, I've got all this currency. Where do we go? Go down here.
Right.
Everyone's down there. you're good.
It's a really nice area too. It's really well decorated, really themed, really well.
Cool. So before
did
we
want to
go,
just make sure I wanted to just do a shout out to all the new characters, new players, especially. I keep having to kick old unplayed alts out of the guild. Tons of new invites,
Which is a good
going
thing.
on.
yes,
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No, I
It's a good problem to
get a
have.
kick out of it
Exactly.
every time. So yeah, it's welcome all the new players. If they don't know yet to be watching the AIE podcast, we'll make sure that they know that too.
Yeah, yeah.
Awesome. And Seema, if they want an invite to the guild, what server are we on, and what's the easiest way to get an invite?
So we're on Starforge. The easiest way is to hop in Discord and ask for an invite. And you can find our Discord info at aie-guild.org at the top of the page there.
Awesome. All right. Well, that is our show for tonight. While the chat room begins suggesting show titles, which we already have one, we want to thank Max and Seema for joining us as always.
Thank you for having us.
You're
Always.
welcome. We love having you guys on. Don't forget, right now it's still going on. Dent is leading the STO MFN, and they are doing the Lost 2800 episodes.
Yeah, really, really fun episodes that are Deep Space Nine themed. Really cool way.
Right. And if you have any questions or comments about our show, you can email us at podcast@aie-guild.org. You can follow us on Twitter. The show is at AIE Podcast. I am at the Mew Cow. Makala is at Cyberwaif. And Tetsemi is at Ivory Tiger. We record live with video every other Sunday at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. You can join the chat room and play along with us on our website, aie-guild.org/podcast-live-stream. And our Discord server for chat is aie-guild.info/Discord. Our theme was composed by the amazing Andrew Allen. Follow him at Keys with Soul, or follow him on his website, andrewallenmusic.com.
All right, and now it's time to play all the great AIE member segments we received this week, including, guess what, guys? We have a brand new segment from Minaris called Wondrous Tales. Thank you so much.
And it's a Final Fantasy 14 segment.
Excellent.
Nice.
Yes,
That's the best.
that is. Next time, we'll be talking to Dan Kinya and a special guest in ESO. So until then, AIE, this has been Tetsemi.
This is Mew Cow.
This is Makala.
And this has been the AIE Podcast. Yay!
Awesome.
Woot.
Oh, thank goodness that worked. All right.
Yes.
So at the
Time to
bottom
bail.
of the show notes, I'm throwing in all the show titles. We had a very early one from Max's Dual Universe. Max tried to blow up.
Yeah.
Tiber came in with Steam Wars, or If Max equaled No, worst guild UI ever. So there's several there. And then, of course, Lucy had to come in with No Rhodian for Max.
I don't know. I think Steam Wars.
I like Steam Wars.
All right.
Yeah, it's
we
kind of
can do
simple,
that.
and it's sort of the real big highlight.
Awesome.
Yeah.
All
Thank you
right.
guys
Well,
so much.
chat room, thank you guys as always
Yes.
for joining us. We love having you guys here. We'll be back 2 weeks, as we said, with Kenny, guest, and ESO. So I'm going to go ahead and cut the feed. And thank you, thank you, thank you.